Morning. My name's Damage, and as you can see, we're outside. This is a first. Sorry, I've just literally woken up. This is the first of many, I hope, of my fishing videos. I will put some context to that. When I was in France, I did a lot of course fishing on private lakes, and that got me back into it. I've always had fishing as a hobby. Admittedly, the gaps between when I would do the fishing were years, obviously due to work, due to other complications. But now I've come back from France and it's out of season. I can't really do course fishing at the moment, so I'm experimenting with sea fishing, which I know zero about. And for you who doubts me, saying, "Oh, you're not by the sea," I don't know if you can all see that, but yeah, that's the sea, big rocks. Yep, on the beach. This isn't some sort of green screen. And yeah, I know nothing about sea fishing. To the extent where I don't know if you can see, I don't know if you see any of that. I got my course fishing stuff. I got my course fishing gear, but I don't know if you can see that, I have a lure that I bought from the tackle shop down the road. There's actually there's two really near me, and they're both really helpful. I will get business cards from them, and so next video I can give them a good bit of advertising. I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos, the majority of which come from a guy called the Eastbourne Fisherman, living in Eastbourne. That is quite handy to me. And so, from what I can understand, the water temperature makes a huge difference. The fishing gear, a rod and a reel is a rod and a reel. That doesn't matter, and it's all about the bait. From what I'm understanding, it is like course fishing but at sea. So you have a weight, and that hits the bottom, so your line doesn't go anywhere, and then you have a hook further on, and the bait sits on the hook and lures the fish in. And you sit there with multiple rods out, and you don't touch the rods until you get a strike or a nibble. So that, in theory, is very much like carp fishing. I'm used to course fishing, where you have a little float, maggots or sweet corn, and you catch whatever. I haven't got all the high-tech gear that carp fishermen have. And I haven't got any other high-tech gear that the sea fishing people have. So it's very trial and error at the moment. There are other places to fish around here other than the sea, but as I said earlier, they're all out of season until June 16th, as far as I'm aware. But then you have to buy either a club membership, a day ticket, season ticket, whatever, and a fishing license. I don't fully understand where all this money is going. They don't police it. They just charge you. For example, I phoned up a guy yesterday who was in charge, from what I can understand, of a stretch of canal in Hampshire that I wanted to fish. I know it pretty well because I spent most of my in barracks time in and around Hampshire. When I was there last, no sort of work was being done other than like the Canal Trust volunteers, but the people who own these or rent these stretches of fishing area, I'm not sure if they contribute to the upkeep of the countryside around the canal, or whether they, I don't know. I don't know where my money goes. So not only would I have to pay a day ticket, I've already bought a fishing license, which allows me 3 rods, trout and salmon, coarse fishing, and that was 45 quid. Train ticket to Hampshire, that's another, what, 30 quid. And it all this money, I mean, train tickets, but I was under the impression that you could, I've seen people go out and fish wherever they like and not have any paperwork. Why they would assume that they can't police it? So I'm half tempted to go down there and fish. Not necessarily out of season, because it's not necessarily going to be viable, but in season, and not actually buy a ticket, because I've paid enough. I've paid enough money. My fishing license money goes to the environmental agency. So what are they doing with my money? It doesn't really make any sense. And that's just me having a moan, but I'm sure there's other people. My brother says I'm a socialist for thinking like that, or elements of socialism. And if that's what socialism is, then yes, I am a socialist. It's all about, from what my brother said, it's about, what did he say? About companies being owned by the public and not privatising everything. That's the gist, I think, that I got from him. But I'm gonna look up some more socialist stuff and see what they're about. I'm not going to go to the meetings, but the thing that not worries me about sea fishing, changing subjects wildly here. Sea fishing, as you know, is, even if you have never sea fished, you can understand how big the sea is. And being one man on a beach somewhere casting into the water, the majority of the fish aren't going to be there. See, down there, I don't know if you can see that, there's some big rocks. The tide's coming in. I'm planning to go over there and cast in, because in theory, in my mind, the fish are where I am not, and they go where the green stuff is, because little animals live in the green stuff, and the big fish or the medium fish will eat the little animals from the green stuff. That'd be a fucking seal. There's a seal over there. I've had enough fucking problems with swans. Is that a seal? Yeah, that's a fucking seal. Knowing my luck, I will catch that fucking seal and it will drag my gear and me into the sea. Yep. I don't know. It's daunting, sea fishing. Obviously, you can better your chances by going to a place where people or where fish congregate, like the big concrete arms of the marinas. I'm thinking specifically of Brighton Marina. Because the further you go out into the sea, or you've got obstacles that allow sea creatures to sort of live around, then predator fish will come there. That's my theory. Again, with Eastbourne Pier, you can fish on Eastbourne Pier, but you have to buy tickets. And I went to the Eastbourne Pier fishing shop Thursday, Friday, I don't know, and it looked like it had been robbed. And I thought, okay, is this what you? Is this how you do your business in a shop that looks robbed? Do you have your shop looking like it's been robbed so people don't rob you? So yeah, I'm not going to be fishing off the pier because I don't have any faith in my skill and that sort of area. It's like you wouldn't go and buy tickets for something from a tramp's hovel, would you? Or am I being a snob? I don't know. I've seen really nice fishing tackle shops, and I've seen fishing tackle shops run by arseholes. And they're all of a cleanliness, clean. They look clean and they look serviceable. But this shack didn't look. I'm not getting in there. Get fucking diseases. So my first, not today, last week was my first sort of introduction to sea fishing. It was really, really windy, really wet. I stood on a sort of a concrete outcrop just down there, and at one point I thought I was going to get swept away, and I thought to myself, yep, you need to buy a life jacket. So that's another thing I'm going to have to find, because I've got a nasty habit of getting myself into sticky situations in the water, not through lack of preparedness. I mean, I can swim. I've done up knows how many courses of like water safety, boats, little dinghies, rigid raiders, all of that type of stuff. But water seems to be my nemesis. Don't know why. But the tide's coming in now, and that means, in theory, the fish will be nearer me. I doubt it. I very, very, very much doubt it. So I'll tell you what, while we're here, I'll tell you what we've got. Gear-wise, got a net to aid in catching or retrieving. Got a little pair of scissors. I've got a set of clips from the Pevensey angling shop. I don't know if you can see them, wait for it to focus in, and they are good to quickly change off your lures or your bait or your hooks or your mackerel feathers. Got a lure box, and in my lure box I've got I don't know if you can see that properly. Let me hold it by the hook so you can see what a big fuss is. I need to use my Gorilla Pod occasionally for these. It's a metal head that looks like a fish, weighted, and it's got a hook on the end. And with that, you get a little jellyfish which you put into the hook. And on YouTube, the people I follow call it like jig heads, which I assume because they jig about. Yeah, I've got 2 lures there attached to each other. One's got a little plastic bill on it, so that will sort of duck and dive in the water. And the other one is just a flashy, looks like a sea spinner, if I had to guess. I'm just using words now. And I've got 4 of these. It's got a weight in the middle between the hook and the eye, and it's a jelly. It's got a tail that mimics fish movement in the sea. The problem I'm having at the moment is that because the tide's coming in, I've got the waves doing wave stuff, and my lure at the moment sinks. So I'm going to have to either find or purchase a lure that floats, topwater lure. Because in my mind, the fish will be in the warmer parts of the sea, getting warm, because fish like to be warm. This is what I've learned from hours and hours of watching sea fishing videos. Plus, the Eastbourne Fisherman YouTube man said that you can have mackerel feathers, you can have weighted hooks, you can have not weighted hooks, and you can have lures that float and lures that just skip about on the bottom. And so when I go to the tackle shop next, I will look and inquire after floating lures. My rod is a Wixom rod, 10 to 30 grams, and that was bought from Decathlon in France. And my reel, my dad lent it to me, and it is a Shimano Stradic, and I don't know if I'm going to actually buy sea fishing gear as well as coarse fishing gear and carp fishing gear and predator gear. I might just have a little bit of each, because I like the idea of being able to just pick up a box, throw it in a bag, and then go. I don't want to lug boxes and bags and trolleys and boats and all this shit like you see carp fishing on TV. They have fucking wheelbarrows full of gear. And I passed sea fishing guys coming out of their cars and vans with boxes and bags, and I just think, how long did it take you? Oh, you packed up the night before. That's how long it takes you. I mean, it was 9:30ish Sunday morning English time, and yeah, I like the idea of being able to just grab a bag with a rod and a reel, proper sort of generalist setup, and go and catch wherever you go. So I've got a box, not here, I've got a box of spinners, flies, lures, hooks, floats, everything for every scenario, and I like that idea. I don't necessarily want to have a sea fishing section and a predator section, and I don't know whether that's me not liking to hoard stuff, or whether that's I don't know. There's probably an element of lack of funds within that. Not lack of funds, but limited funds. And I have to choose what I get. So for anybody who wants to know where I am currently, I'm at Eastbourne Harbour. Not in the harbour, because you're not allowed to fish in the harbour. I'm on the seafront, and to my left is the mouth of the harbour, and all the boats come out of there. You're not allowed to fish in the harbour behind the docks. locks, sorry. One, they don't want it filled with people fishing. They have enough people cutting around there with dogs and just dogs shitting everywhere. Two, the fish in there are really hard to catch. I think they're mullets. I've never caught a mullet, so that proves how hard it is. No. The water is so dirty. It's like, it's basically a car park for boats, and you wouldn't want to eat anything you find in the car park. So, oh, that's better. I don't know if I do want to even eat stuff that I catch myself here. Being a conservationist, I know how dirty the oceans are. Well, not even because I'm a conservationist. I have eyes and I watch the news occasionally. I know how dirty the oceans are. But it doesn't stop me eating fish though. I had tuna the other day and I had sardines last week. So I say one thing, but I do another. That's how it is, sadly. But I wouldn't necessarily eat the things I catch. One, I've eaten enough carp in France to know that tastes shit. I know carp isn't usually a fish that you would eat, but the private lake guy wanted to thin the herd, as it were, so I helped him with that. And yeah, I don't know. I like the idea of catch and release. I think the fishing, especially in the sea, I think there's not enough fish in the sea to start off with. I'm not saying I'm going to be catching millions and millions of fish in my sea fishing career, but the little fish I catch will turn into big fish or prey for bigger fish, and I just want to do my bit, if that makes any sense. Plus, I have yet to catch something in the sea. I went to Hamble the other week in the river Hamble, which I think is estuarine, if I'm not mistaken. Didn't catch anything, had a bite, missed it. And yeah, so it's, I don't know. This first video is very rambling. I haven't videoed for a while, so you'll have to excuse me. Covering many subjects, no script, as it were. I've been trying to stream video games all week, and I just don't have any sort of enthusiasm for streaming video games. Which I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Maybe I'm burnt out. I wasn't playing a lot of video games in France, and I wasn't streaming, but I think now I'm back. I want to be doing, and the weather's nice. I think I want to be doing stuff outside more so. Yeah, I think that's what is wrong. There is a river that way, which is nearer to me than the Aldershot Canal. So at some point I'm gonna join their club. So I'm gonna look at it first before I join, because if it's just a trickle, then I'm not really that fussed. But if it's a really nice bit of river, I'll put some money aside for it. So let's have a look at the sea again to prove I'm here. Some coins. Yeah. As the months go on, the weather gets hotter, more fish are active, so hopefully, and my knowledge will improve, hopefully I will catch a fish. I don't know if you can see that, but out where? too bright. There is 4 sailing, but 5, 6. There are 6 fishing sailing boats just within visual range, and they're all just sat there doing nothing. If you had a sailing boat, you'd be off gallivanting, wouldn't you, with your Jim Paddis and your key swapping people, and instead they're all just pissing about. Not 200 metres away from the entrance to the Eastbourne Harbour, and you think, why you can't all have engine malfunctions, or you can't all just be each to their own. I mean, you've spent what, 300 grand? I don't even know if that's how much boats cost. A pretty penny on a boat, and you're just sat next street over. Makes no sense to me, but not a lot of things do make sense to me. I just moan about them. Alright then, well, wish me luck, thank you for watching, and next Sunday I will do another video of my progress in the week, and I'll try and make a short if I catch anything before then. My name is Damage. If you like what I do, please like, share and subscribe. Hit that notification button, and I hope you all have a good, pleasant, safe, hydrated week. So yeah, thank you very much.